Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Trey Ferker, the player coach. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for today. Definitely see the title. The title is very simple. It's just called Husband. A husband is a whole lot of things. He wears a whole lot of hats. A husband is not for everybody. A husband is not of weak mind. Well, I would say most should not be of weak mind. Most should not be of weak heart. And although this is a very, I would say, unusual, very delicate topic today, I also think that is needed. You know, there's a lot of young men who may be coming to a thought process where they may want to find a wife. And I'm sure they're hearing a lot of information about the negative side of being a husband. And again, I would definitely say that there is some negatives of being a husband, but there are a lot of positives also. There are a lot of positives. I put this picture behind me because this is pretty much how the tradition would say a husband would need to, I guess, start the process with the woman in asking her to be his wife. After there's been, I guess, several weeks, months, some years possibly, of vetting her and understanding who she is as an overall person. Yeah, just forgive me because sometimes I'm looking at the screen and not at the camera. So that's why I look down. I'm looking at the screen, what's in front of me. But I'll try to make a little note in my head to look at the camera, but I just feel so funny looking at the camera like that. But hey, it's all good. You know, I just been, having conversations with my wife, just after sometimes I'm listening to conversations that I've seen and heard. And, it's just, I don't know. I toy with myself sometimes, you know, did I make the right choice? Um, for the most part, I always come out with a yes. Um, this has been my wife for going on 11 years now. July 19th will be 11 years. I never would have thought I would have been in this situation for the second time. No one could have told me that I would have been married at 56 years old. Well, basically at 45 years old. I think I think it's an honor to be a husband. The reason being, someone putting up with me and my ways and my OCDs. I'm a pretty even keel guy. I very seldom get upset unless something is really, bothering me or something really disrespects me. It doesn't matter what people say about me. I'm light skinned, big lips, big nose, big head. I'm all of that. That's true. I can't deny it. But is that part of what's my heart? No. Is that my character? No. Have I always been this way? Of course not. I took advantage of the light skin privilege. I did. But was I disrespectful in that? I would say more times not. I never really was a person that cursed women. I may have called them a curse word in some moments, in some activities. But as far as taking those, I guess, frustrations out, if a woman disrespected me, nah. If I felt like I had to give somebody that type of energy, man or woman, I just dismiss them. It's never really been hard for me to just cut off communication with people that don't value who I am, my presence, and my abilities. I just always been able to dismiss it. So, you know, when I would meet people and I guess what's the word? Shoot my shot. Sometimes it was accepted, sometimes it wasn't. Even when I was shooting my shot, I knew some women were not ready for marriage, at least not marriage with me. But they had the things that I like. They had the look and they had the personality. Sometimes it started out very strong. Sometimes it ended fast. For the most part, it always had a good result, even if it ended fast, because I would have a lot of conversations. I wasn't afraid to have those, tough conversations because I needed to know before I invested a whole lot of time and energy. And then once I had the conversations, it was about the character, how they moved. People say a lot. Hell, I used to say a lot sometimes to get what I wanted. But then how did I move after that? Did I show up on time when I say? Did I call every time when I said? Probably not. But I always believe that if somebody give me the positive energy, I'm always give them the positive energy. And if they give me negative energy, I'm gonna give it back in that moment. But then I'll just pretty much disconnect from it. I won't spend a whole lot of time going over it in my head whether or not, okay, this person likes me or doesn't like me. Like I say all the time, I grew up in a house with 6 women, 2 older sisters, 3 younger, and my mother. And my father was the craziest person I know, so I really didn't give a damn about too many guys. I had a lot of friends on both sides of my town. I know a lot of guys from playing football. I know a lot of guys from playing basketball. Some of those guys only knew me from each sport. They didn't know that I played both sports. Unless sometime, we would play those schools and then they would see me in a basketball uniform during the winter, like, don't you play football? Yeah. But that was just me. That was just always my personality. I wanted to be in some type of activity with other men, other guys, just to compete. I didn't care if I won or not. I just like to compete. It didn't matter how big, how small, tall, short. It didn't matter. I like to compete. If I didn't win, I was a close second. It's just something that I always loved to do, even today. Well, even growing up, after high school and going to college, I just wanted to compete. I didn't care if I won or lost. When they look up at the end, I was right there. I was on their ass, whether I won or lost. And I didn't do a whole lot of talking. I'm old now and I can talk about this shit. I ain't do a whole lot of talking. I didn't bet either. I didn't bet because I always believed in myself. I don't know why I did, but I just did. You know, I never got caught up in semantics and a whole lot of lip locking. I never was that type of guy because I had sisters. They used to nag all the time. So when I met other people, I'm like, oh, they naggers. So let me get away. It just wasn't the type of energy that I wanted to be around. You know. Now, again, we're going to go into the title, husband. Ooh, man. Have I been the best husband? No, not all the time. Have I been the worst husband? No. Definitely not. Am I a better husband today than I was 10 years ago? Oh, yeah. Of course. Of course. I think my wife is beginning to see the value. I think she's beginning to see. I think she's always, I believe she's always loved me because of the things that she does for me. I don't ask for stuff, and she just makes stuff appear. And I even question, why did you do that? Because I wanted to, for you. Oh, okay. Some of my friends even question, like, man, how do you get to go all of these places and we can't go anywhere? I'll be like, well, you got to talk to my wife. Believe me. Did I think I was worthy or something like that? Sometimes I used to question it. Because when I was younger and single, I just, I don't know, I believe I just had my way. People just let me have my way. I wasn't disrespectful with it, but if it got to a point like if I felt like I wanted to just do something else, I would just pretty much end the relationship because I couldn't go through that stressful time and, arguing and fighting over stuff. We probably don't even remember what we were arguing and fighting over. I just couldn't do it. And when I met my wife, when people talk about all of these crazy dates, I had planned a date to go ice skating. It was cold. It was the winter time in Chicago. She lived maybe about 15, 20 miles away. She came to my place. She do like I do. She checked it out. I gave her a little tour of my apartment. She saw it was clean. I like candles, but I don't light them. I just put them on a little coffee mug warmer and let the aroma radiate all through my apartment. Even today, in my house, I've always done it. But that was just the guy that I was. Call it corny, yeah. But I like to get outside. It was wintertime. I didn't care. I like to go, I've only been ice skating once, if you believe it or not. But it was something that I wanted to do with her. And when she got to my place, she didn't want to do it because it started snowing. And I was like, well, that's what I had plans to do. So she said, how about this? How about we go shoot pool? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go shoot pool. I don't know who won the game. We probably played maybe 3, 4 little, I don't know what is it called, 3 or 4 little games. Yeah, games of pool. We talked about pretty much everything. And we did what little tidbits people do when they meet, and I guess they feeling each other. She rubbed up against me. I rubbed up against her. I showed her how to hold the pool stick. Of course, from behind, of course. So I don't know. It was just something that was flowing in the moment. It was flowing in the moment. And was I thinking about marriage? Hell no. I was having too much fun out there. Too much fun. I mean, too much fun. Call it good, call it bad, but I was having that damn fun. I'm gonna tell you that now. And after a few months, well, I'd say about a month or so, she just came to me. She said, whenever you're ready, just let me know. I looked at her like, what you talking about? Whenever you're ready, just let me know. And I was like, I know she's talking about something a little more deep than what she's saying. So I thought about it. I'm like, shit, I gotta give up all this. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, shoot, I'm having too much fun. I'm talking too much fun. It was crazy. I didn't do a whole lot of taking people out to eat. People used to take me out to eat. They used to fly me out. I'm giving up all that. Traveling around the country. I was like, oh man, I'm giving up a whole lot. But then I started thinking about it. Okay, if I'm running around doing all this, I'm using up gas. I'm eating over here, can't eat over here. I got my ring off. I'm getting calls all through the night. I'm at work sleepy. So I really thought about it. Like, maybe this could be it. I've had fun. I was running around in the streets for a long time. I can't put a number on none of it. But believe me, my results, I would compare them to anybody. To anybody. Now, am I proud of that? Depends on how you look at it. I was young and single. I took advantage of my light skin privilege, as they say. Isn't that what they call it? But I didn't have a, I guess, preference as far as complexion. Complexion didn't mean anything to me. Build, how a person was built, meant a lot to me. I wasn't tripping and talking about, oh, a woman got to be 130 pounds. No, she can be 140. Hell, 150 if that shit's hitting right. Nice? Oh, yeah. She had to be nice. At least nice to me. And I ain't talking about kissing my butt, but I'm talking about at least nice. I can have a conversation with her about various topics. I also like the woman that could joke. Say a little joke here every now and then, whether it was corny or whatever. But I like the woman that can tell a joke and take a joke. That was a big thing. Take a joke. I think I called my wife something, a little name or something, and she laughed at that shit today. Just laugh at it. I'm like, I was just being funny. And she fell out. Oh my God, she fell out. Yeah, I caught her a vouch or something. I don't know what we was doing, but yeah, it was wild. We hung out a lot after that, talked on the phone. She would come over, I would go over there. You know, one of the first things she did once we got together, on our first date, she let me drive her car. She had a nice little car. I'm like, ooh, you let me drive your car? She threw her feet up on the dash. I'm like, hold up, man. You let everybody drive your car? I said, come on now. It's too easy. And she just broke it down to me. She like, you pretty laid back. I've thrown some stuff at you. You don't seem to get upset about it. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't a guy that really got mad unless I was really provoked. And, I always talk about who I am and what I like to do and what I'm planning on doing. And, she was all in. She was all in. One thing that happened, we went to a friend's wedding. We were in Chicago at the time, and she rented a car because she wanted me to go with her to the wedding. Believe me, I was apprehensive at first, but she laid it all out for me. She just told me I had to go, do some driving. Shit, let's do it. It's funny because when we started out on the trip, it was about I guess it would be a 10-hour trip. She said these words, if we can survive this, we can survive anything. Ironically that she would say that because as soon as we get on the road, we're in a damn storm. From Chicago to Nashville, Tennessee, we were in a storm. And it was an ugly storm too. But we drove all the way through, no problems. We got a hotel. Then when we got to the hotel, the night was cool. We woke up the next morning to take a shower. The water didn't run out of the tub like it should have when we was in the shower, because we ended up taking the shower together. And the water didn't run out the tub. So of course, me, I've always been a person that's gonna say something. So when we told the manager at the front desk, we got our room for free. So she was happy with that. Like, wow, we got a room for free. Yes. We had Then once we got outside the hotel, it was sunny. The sun was bright. It was a nice day. Granted, the wedding was in April. So we go on to Atlanta. I think we was there, what, 3.5 days? The weather was nice the entire time. And I used to always talk to her about Atlanta, up until that point, like, man, listen, Atlanta got plenty of them down there. Got plenty of fine ass women. And if you're not careful, you might run up on a fine ass dude. I'm just saying, you might run up on one if you're not careful. Okay? So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Trey Ferguson, the player coach. Hit the like, share, subscribe. Trey Ferguson, the player coach, ladies and gentlemen. And again, it's just something that you really, for me, again, I was enjoying the moment at the time. We'd had a lot of serious conversations. And I think one thing that actually won her over with me, because of course we guys, we like to talk and do all of this to impress a woman, but I was just pretty much being myself, and I don't think she really understood who I was at the time. So we go to the wedding. First of all, okay, so let me backtrack. We had a camera, we was gonna take pictures and do all that at the wedding. We left the battery in the hotel, right? Then she tells me she leaves her deodorant. Okay, that's room for me to just go in. I was just armpitting for the rest of the day. So we go to the table. Well, we go to the wedding. Wedding takes place. Then we go to the reception. And I don't know what the hell it is with black folk and they damn weddings and receptions and all that shit. We waited about 2 hours for the bride and groom came before we can fucking eat, which is crazy to me. So we sitting at a table. Like I said, Atlanta has a lot of fine women. So it's me and her and about 7, 8, at least 6, 7 other women at the table, at least. And they all, believe me, it's Atlanta. They always fine as hell. But the young lady that was sitting to my left was watching me and, my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, of course, but she was watching us. And I don't know what made her do it, but it's like I sat back in the chair, and when I sat back, she leaned over in front of me and started talking to both of us. It's like she was all on the brother. So I was like trying to just not do too much because shit, I like to touch with women. She was touching me. And she was like, y'all seem like y'all having so much fun. I'm like, well, we just talking. She said, I know, but I'm watching y'all. Y'all just seem like y'all been together for a very long time. And y'all having so much fun. Y'all just acting silly, and I don't even know what y'all acting silly, but that shit's funny. That's what she told us. And again, my wife, she was sitting there and she just started laughing. And the girl was like, what you laughing at? She like, well, actually, shit, we only been knowing each other about a month or so. She like, wow. She like, but y'all look like y'all have so much fun. And, it was a few other things said, I guess. Then the reception really got in going to the groove. And we was dancing, you know what I'm saying? That was the first time we got a chance to dance with each other. So we were just dancing, acting a little silly out on the floor. Then we came back. And I don't know what happened. But the young lady was sitting at that table, shit. She was just looking at me and shit. I'm like, oh Lord, just this woman right here. I was thinking, all kinds of stuff was going through my head. I wish my damn wife would act up. I wish the hell she would act up. Because if she act up, I'm going to be in Atlanta a few more days. But thank God, everything went well that day. Oh, except this. When the bride and groom came, I don't know what the hell be going on in people's head. But listen, some stuff got I don't know, out of whack. And it was just, it had nothing to do with me and her, but it was just, I don't know. Atlanta is a strange place if you don't live there. To me, it was strange. To me, it was strange. I always just tell myself Atlanta would be a good place for me to visit, but definitely not marry and stay. I could not stay there in Atlanta. It's too much pressure, especially when you're young, single, you working, you taking care of yourself, you hold yourself. Too much pressure. You're talking 10, 12 women to one just in Atlanta alone. So you take your chances when you go down there. Then you had to watch out for them big Adams apples. You gotta look out for that because they can be looking just as good as the ladies. But however, his Adam's apple is a lot bigger than yours. His hands and feet are a lot bigger than yours. And one of my little inside tricks I used to always do to a woman is do the hand comparison. I used to love doing the hand comparison. Put your hand up against mine. I've been palming basketball since the 7th grade. So if a woman's hands was just as big as mine, I just didn't talk to her at all. I always said, okay, it has to be at least shorter than the last little bend in my finger. If it was anything above that, then that was too big for me. But if it was your hand came there, then and at least you had to have skinny fingers. You couldn't have fingers as wide as mine. I always thought I had wide fingers, so it couldn't be as wide as mine. It can fit inside, we good. I can rock with that. But as far as everything else, again, it was my choice. That's what I like. I figured if women were not gonna like me because I was light skinned, that's the only thing to disqualify me, then damn it, I'm gonna have my list too to disqualify them. And that's how I moved. I didn't question it. I didn't argue. I didn't say, why you don't like me, the light skinned bald head. And let me just say this. When I was getting out of service, that's when I shaved my head. I looked at a basic training picture, and I'll show it sometime when I'm on these lives. I looked at that picture, and I was like, I can wear the bald head. My head is just round enough in the front. In the back, hey, it leans one side. But you have to see it. I just do that to myself. One side is straighter than the other. But that's what made me shave my head. I was getting out of service. I said, hey, I need a new look. I'm starting a new life. And that's what I did. I went bald. Ain't never went back. And my stock went up about 200%. Oh yeah, the stock went up. I've never had a problem again. Pretty much for what I chose. And I used to have, it was almost, I was almost like what is it, a lion stalking his prey. I would watch somebody, watch how they, especially if I was out in a space where I know that you were going to mingle with people. I didn't care if guys came up to talk to a female. Hell, she's pretty. I thought she was pretty. I knew other people thought she was pretty. I knew that. And I wasn't even gonna question my eyes. So I'm like, okay. But then I watched how she moved. How did guys, I don't know her, but how did guys come up to her? Did they all go for the cheeks when they hugged her? Did they give her that old, I'm a church, we church, we know each other from church hug, that office hug, those type of things like that? I looked at all that. How was she talking to her friends? Was she a pirate? She do a lot of cursing, man. Things like that. Oh, I hear it. I heard this. Hold on, excuse me. Let me turn that down. I don't know what that is. That's a new. That's a new sound that I'm hearing. So I'm gonna have to see what that is. you know. And then if I met somebody, if I got a chance to get close to them and talk to them, I would always introduce myself, ask them their name, of course. Always request to go off to a little secluded place where we can at least have a conversation. Because I found out a lot about people when I would just get them away from their crowd of people that they were with or just out of the light. And of course, I wasn't, going ham on them first time I started talking to them, but if we exchanged numbers and we had a chance to set up a second date, so shout out to all the old school restaurants that got you some play. Applebee's, Chili's, Red Lobster, what else? I don't know. Olive Garden. Shout out to all those restaurants. Because now ain't nobody going to none of them and can't nobody cook. So, hey, you wasn't going to get no high end, Fogo de Chow's and what is that? Oh my God, the one that served mostly meat and it's about, I don't know, $100 a person just to go eat some meat and some vegetables, Ruth Chris and all that. You wasn't gonna get that until I knew that you was locked in with me. Other than that, choose one of those, I guess, medium tier restaurants. That was just me. I ain't heard nobody say I wasn't going to eat no Applebee's or Red Lobster. They eat that shit, all the damn biscuits, everything else that they could get on that plate to eat, they would eat that shit. So I don't know, riblets, fries, all that shit. But again, that was just my experience. So, it's just a unique space that I was in at that time. And like I said, and then when my wife came along, she was different. She would act different. When I asked about certain things that I needed, she said she would oblige. I took her to a meat store one time. She had never been to some meat store on the west side of Chicago called Peoria Meats. If you live in Chicago, I'm sure you've been there. If not, you better get your ass over there. I would take about $60, $70, and I would just go get chicken, maybe 7, 8 pounds of chicken, fish, shit, everything, wings, legs, breast, thighs, catfish, whiting, all the beef, ground beef, bacon, all the pork, everything pork. Hell, they had everything up in there pork. They had from the rooter to the tutor of the pig and the cow. Smoked turkey, necks, wings, all that. Some packaged stuff, but everything pretty much was fresh cut. And I took her over there. She been going. That's the only place we really go to get meat since. Even though I since moved from Chicago, I would make a trip up there to get maybe $150, $200 worth of meat. What's that word they say? No Diddy, but yeah, food to eat, pretty much. Our meat products, and that's how we roll. And then when it came down to us to get married, ooh man, this is probably against the grain because I never saw it coming again. We came back from Atlanta. She just started talking, let's look at rings. So now I'm questioning, man, why are you so quick to want to get married? I was like, man, something ain't right. And she started talking to me, just told me that, she had prayed for a husband. I'm like, shit, what makes you think I'm him? I'm living too good. She said, because as I got to talking to you and know you, you was a good guy. I knew once you explained to me how you was moving, I was like, yeah, okay. But then over this weekend, when I saw you sitting there and the women were still trying to talk to you, she said, then I knew you could be that one. She said, because you was respectful in talking to women in front of me. I said, hell, I had sisters, so that's my dog that y'all hear. I said, so it wasn't that bad. I have sisters, so having sisters made it easy for me to communicate with women just outside of wanting to sleep with them. You know, I had a lot of nice looking women I work with. I didn't want to sleep with them. That's something I never looked at like I wanted to sleep with a woman that I work with. I wasn't having no relationships or nothing. Maybe if you had a friend that was attractive that used to come up to the job, yeah, let me talk to her. But for the most part, no, I never tried to talk to a woman where I lived and where I worked. That was out of the question. Always, always out of the question. I would never do that. Never. Some people do it, but then they wonder why their car is getting keyed, wonder why their tires are getting flat. It could be because you playing too close, and that was just me. I didn't force my ideas on anybody else, but I needed certain things as it pertained to a relationship. And me and my wife used to have questions big on my list. Very simple. I used to always tell her, talk to me, feed me, and freak me. What does that mean? I need you to be able to talk to me about any topic, whether it's a stupid, silly topic or just something really serious. And that's sex. Hey, I need to talk about that. And while we're talking about, we need to practice that same thing that we talk about. Money, how you spend money. She was pretty good at saving, so that worked out fine. And then when I bought in my resources and my benefits, she's like, "Oh yeah, we can do this real good." And then what is it? Freaking me. Yeah, shit. I like that shit. Upside down, right side up, spin around, whatever you got. Whatever you got. I'm gonna take it. As long as it's clean. Stay away from certain areas on me. Stay away from certain areas. And she fell in line with that shit. And the last big thing was for me was she had to be able to cook. I ain't say she had to cook, but she had to be able to cook. That's how I grew up. My mama could cook anybody under the table. And I'm talking about the main course, fucking pastries, all the desserts, fucking barbecue. My daddy couldn't cook shit. That motherfucker couldn't boil water. But my mama, shit. My mama could throw down in the kitchen. And I needed somebody like that. Because when I get hungry, I need to be able to come home to eat. I don't want to have to slide over here because somebody else got a plate for me. No. I need to have that plate at home where I can take my shoes off and relax. Because if I get over somebody else's house and get to taking off my shoes, this is going to be a long night. And I used to have these conversations. And as we got to know each other a little bit more, she was like, shit, I'm ready to do it. And I'm like, oh, you ready to do what? And I ain't gonna say she asked me, but I was like, let's do it. I was ready. And I used to go through my phone and look at numbers and stuff and be like, man, I'm trying to see who lives up to this. And I was like, damn. Couldn't really come up with nobody that could stand up and measure up to that. So it just changed everything. So then we had the question about how you want to get married. We just came from a wedding not long ago. She like, shit. Either we can spend this much money on a wedding or we can get a house. You talking my language. Shit. We got married. Maybe a month later, we moved in an apartment together. We lived there for maybe, what was it? August to maybe March of the next year. We saw a house in what is it? It was in Pullman, Chicago. They had in the historic monument. I don't know if y'all ever heard about the Pullman Porters, but it's a very intricate story about the history and the plight of African Americans in America. They were some of the first middle-class African Americans in the whole country. They worked on the Pullman Porter trains. Most of them were former slaves in the earlier years. He only hired former slaves. Most of those individuals did not have a formal education. 95% of them made over $75,000 at that time. So do the math today. Almost all of their children went to college and became successful individuals. For these men working on trains, traveling around the country. So when people talk history, they seem to always dismiss that or have no understanding of how significant that time was. Because at one time, the owner of the Pullman Porter trains, he wanted to sort of disband. Well, he was against unionizing. And when the workers at his factory tried to unionize, he went to Congress and said no. If you got caught trying to unionize on his working at his company, he would fire you. And then if you worked there, you lived in his homes. He built like 5,000 homes. Once he found out you was trying to unionize, he would fire you. Then you would have to move out of his homes. So he was one of the first people to sort of monopolize the way we live today. You lived in his house, you worked in his factory, and then you lived in his home. So he would pay you a check, but prior to giving you your check, he had already taken out the rent. Think about that. And if you got to a position where you couldn't work anymore in the factory, you had to move out. If your husband passed away, for whatever reason, you had to move out. You couldn't stay there. It was a complete town. It's still there today. I actually worked there a couple of years. If you ever go there, just ask them, do you know Ferguson? They're going to say yes. I loved it. I lived 2 blocks away. I used to walk to work sometime. And they give tours. People used to come from all over the world. Germany, France, Korea, Russia, Switzerland, everywhere. They come from everywhere. They come in with their little passport booklets, meaning they go into national parks. People come in there 400 or 500, 300 or 400 stamps where they done been to all these parks traveling. I very seldom saw African American families. There were some, but for the most part, it was always other cultures and other races. And they would come and just do a walk around. I would give like an hour and a half tour. They would tip us. They wasn't supposed to, but I'd be in that tour so good. They would be tipping, and I'd be like, okay, I'll take it. But, it was just a great time. So when I got married, once we moved into our house together, me being the person that I am, I like to fix stuff. I like to do that shit. Don't let me come through with my grease gun and wrench. I'm fixing and oiling every damn thing. And that's how I used to use that too when I was single. Let me come over your house and shit ain't right. I'm gonna take off my shirt and guess what? I'm gonna fix all that broken shit you got over there. But that don't mean I'm gonna stay. I'm just gonna take advantage of what you got to offer after that. And once I got that space, I started buying stuff. And she's like, why you buy all this stuff? I said, you'll see one day. You'll see. And I would fix stuff and do stuff. She's like, man. I think what really got her one time, I built some shelves in our basement. We had a basement. I built some shelves there. Probably about 2 hours. Once I measured and cut, got everything right. After that, we was on cruise control. She would work. I would work. She would bring everything to the pot. I bring everything I got to the pot. And me, I've always been able to just manage off of, a couple $100 a month. Cause I love to shop. I don't think most of y'all know that, but I love to shop. I can put my shoe game and clothes game up against anybody because I love to shop. I've always loved to shop. But I've never been a person that really spent a whole lot of money on ugly shit. Most of that designer shit be ugly to me. And most of that shit's knockoff. Once you get outside the country and you go to the country where they make that shit, you realize that shit over here, you see the tag and shit made over in Taiwan and shit, you like, oh shit. And that's all I used to do. I used to go to the high-end stores, see what the new fashion is, and go to the regular stores and buy that shit. And shit looked just as good. Because I didn't want to spend all that money to make other people rich. That was just me. I don't know. I've always been like that. I've been shopping since I was like on my own since I was like 13, 14. My mom used to give me $200 every year for Christmas, again, because I couldn't get a summer job. So I just learned that independence about myself. So I'm gonna quit rambling about myself. In the meantime, just hit the like, share, subscribe button to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. Hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. And I'm going to get into the main topic. And the main topic is, again, the husband. And I was just going through this list. I'm not going to go into details of any list, but I'm going to put the reference points where you can go in and you can look at those things for yourself in your own time. You see the Bible behind me. It has little hearts coming out of it, because we would assume that most of us in a position of marriage or wanting to be married, then you would follow the covenants of the Bible. And me, my grandfather was a pastor. My father never went to church when I was growing up. I think he started going when he was about 70. And I don't think he really understood everything that, should have been taking place within his own life. Because again, my father struggled with alcoholism. He used to go to AA meetings drunk, but he worked every day. He retired early at 60 years old. And he used to always tell me to work hard, take care of yourself, that's all I used to hear growing up. So he went to the service. I ended up going to the service. He had skills. I guess I inherited those skills. He played sports. I played sports. It's funny because he never really talked about sports with me. And we used to watch a football game, and we never really talked sports. But I picked the game up really fast and had success at playing basketball and football. And he would always come to my games. I think he coached me one year in Little League football, but for the most part, he always stayed out of it. And he would come to my games, and I would hear his ass up in the crowd over thousands of people. I guess 2,000, 3,000 people. I can always hear his ass calling my damn name. When I was young, I used to be like, man, why you call my name? He said, boy, you'll find out later. And as I got older, I understood. Because most of my friends, their parents didn't come to the game. So I never questioned it again. I used to look for his voice. It seemed like some games I couldn't even play right until I heard his damn voice. And I can always know where he's at just by his voice. It was crazy. I'm like, damn, some shit be off. I ain't hitting the hole right. Next thing you know, I hear his voice. Shit. I'm moving and grooving then. And it just played out that way. But he was always a hard worker. He always was a hard worker. Like I said, it was 9 of us, 7 children, and my mother and father. We didn't go without shit. My mother worked at GE. My father worked at Hillsrick and Brasby. For those that don't know, Hillsrick and Brasby is called Louisville Slugger. He actually invented a dipping machine at the factory. He never told me shit about that. I went to his old high school playing my last game. I didn't know it was going to be my last game playing basketball. We was in the district. And I'm in the visitors' locker room, and I'm sitting down. I'll never forget this day. I'm sitting down putting my clothes on. Well, I put my shoes on, and I just happened to turn my head and look up. I seen this fucking mirror from the floor. It was so big, it went over into the ceiling. That's how big it was. And the ceilings had to be about 12 feet. I look up, it's my father. Okay, now I'm in my feelings. Like, why in the hell he ain't never tell me about this shit? He's supposed to tell me about this shit. But he never did. Because until I brought it to his attention, like, man, he was humble. He's like, I tried to tell you to go to that school. Well, no, you didn't. He said, I did. I got you a Letterman's jacket. The school was recruiting me. So they gave me a Letterman's jacket. I had a 3/4 length with the leather sleeves in the 7th grade. But I wanted to go where my friends were. He's like, well, I tried to tell you, you didn't listen. I was like, well, you didn't do a good enough job to force me. Now I'm saying that shit after the fact. If he would have forced me, then I'd have been crying the whole time. Plus, I didn't want to ruin my sister's reputation because she was a senior when I would have been a freshman. And she been on a roll since fucking elementary school. So I was just wanting happy with my C's and a few B's. So, so now being in the position that I am, calling myself a husband, I don't know. So I'm just going to go through the titles. I'm not going to spend too much longer. Like I said, I'm not going to go into details of it, but I do have the reference points. If you want to just mark it, I'll write them down. Take a picture with your phone and just, go back and read over it, see how it aligns with you, see if those are some things that you can align with in your life. If those are some things that you want to do. I chose the husbands first because I'm a man. And I think us as men have the ability, the capability to be in those positions if we choose to. I'm not saying run out and get married, fellas. Hell no. Don't do that shit. Don't do it. But at some point, we all start to age out. Meaning, I never wore glasses till I was 45 years old. Now, hell, they close by when I go to bed, and the first thing I'm grabbing when I wake up. So, and that's what I mean by aging out. The muscles I used to have, the forearms and the chest and all that shit just there now. I try to, I don't got no, I used to always have a fear about my stomach. That if I could look down and I couldn't see my shit, I'm too fat. So I always had to maintain that about myself. This is something I always did. Since I guess, I don't know, about 8th, 9th grade. Like, man, I gotta always keep my little 6-pack or 8-pack and keep it tight. And of course, you gain weight as you get older. When you're eating good, things like that, you're gonna gain some weight, but it should always be maintained, as I feel. And I've talked about this even with single guys. You should be in the best shape of your life. Because if half these dudes ain't getting none, them motherfuckers' testosterone should be through the roof. But hey, that's another topic. So here's my first list. My first item on the list. It just says what it is. The wife comes from the husband's rib. You can check it out. Go to Genesis 2:21-24 and read it for yourself. Gain an understanding for yourself is always the best way to do it. And for the ladies, listen. I know it's hard for some of y'all to read silent. That shit get confusing. You can't say it don't. I work with young students. I worked in college, working with young women. Dads be always used to say, it's hard for me to understand it. Read it out loud. Then they read it out loud. Oh, why read it out loud? Because when you read it out loud, you can hear the story come together. And then you can understand where the inflections are in certain things that gave you a greater understanding. Or you can have someone else read it out loud. When you start reading things silently, sometimes it gets all mixed up in your head. You're like, what the hell did I just read? But read it out loud. Just try it. Read it out loud. But again, I'm focusing on the husbands today and how we can gain a better understanding of who we are and be the person that we need to be for the woman that we choose. Because we choose you all to be our wives. We just don't go in like giving it all up. We have to choose you based off who you are when you come to our table. So just understand that you are of us. We didn't say that you was below us. We didn't say that you was above us. You just come from us. So that means if you come from my rib, that means you're going to stand at my side, slightly to the rear, but just for protection, but to my side. And you can choose either side, either rib. It didn't say it came from the right rib or the left rib. You just stand behind the man's strongest side. Whichever side is his strongest, that's the side you stand behind. Because he's going to protect you with that side. All right? I think this is unique too. The supernatural husbands. Again, go to this reading, get a better understanding. The supernatural husband. Don't we say it all the time? We got to do all this shit and nobody wants to appreciate it. But you can be this guy without a wife. Just be strong, be disciplined, meditate, be respectful of people, places, and things. And allow your wisdom and allow your blessings to come to you. So again, Genesis 6:4, the supernatural husbands. I think this is a big one that we struggle with today. Husbands' involvement in wives' contracts. What does that mean? A husband's involvement in wives' contracts. Meaning, when you're going out here doing business and shit with other men, possibly other women, that shit is out of order. The easiest way to do it is if you gain the information, bring it to the husband, have a discussion, let him evaluate it. And if he sees anything shysty about it, he's going to say so, and he's going to move accordingly. Not, I'm going to go out here and get this bag by scheming and scamming and put everybody in jeopardy. Or even putting yourself in a position where you're going to work when it's not needed. You know, and don't sign your name on anything without the, I guess, the conference and the discussion and the decision from the husband. Because that could be a detriment to everybody. And ladies, just understand, I'm talking about the husbands today, not the wives. I will talk about the wives, and then I'm just going to end it with this, because I think both parties play an intricate role in being a husband and being a wife. So again, husbands' involvement in wives' contracts. Numbers 30, 10 through 15. Okay, now this is, ooh-wee. How many of y'all would agree with this? Husband rules household. Lord Jesus. He ain't telling me what the hell to do. Husband rules household. Esther 1, 22, Corinthians 11, 3. Read up on it. I don't want to give no interpretations of anything. You have to read it for yourself and act accordingly. I would prefer that you read the Old Testament. That I would prefer that. first and then read the New Testament. Because there's some things in the New Testament that was not in the Old Testament, and some things in the New Testament. Maybe it's just me. It just seems like it just flows with the feminist side of things. It sort of lightens the, I don't say responsibilities. It sort of, takes things out of the traditional and ordained order. So again, read these things for yourself. Read them for yourself. Don't take my word for anything. That's why I didn't even put the passages up here. You have to read it for yourself. Preferably, you can read it out loud. Or how about this? We take our slow ass kids and let them read that shit. And they may come across some words that they don't understand what the word mean or whatever. They can't enunciate it. But then there's an opportunity to have a dictionary close by. Circle that word that they read and then go back and look it up in the dictionary. And even though they may not be able to enunciate it correctly or spell it correctly, when they hear that word, they would definitely know what it means. That's always beneficial. And then as they grow, because they're going to become smarter, and as they grow, they'll start being able to enunciate the word. They'll understand it when they hear it. They'll be able to apply it to different contexts. Just a thought now. I didn't say nobody go out and do it, but we got some dumbass kids out here and a whole lot of smart ass parents. It doesn't make sense to me, but it's just me being old, I guess. So, also, young marrieds. Why would it say young marrieds? Proverbs 5:15-19. Why would it say young marrieds? That's unique, huh? Should everybody be waiting till we get to 40 to get married? I got that. I bought 2 new cars, a house. You got that. You bought a house, a car, maybe some children, maybe. We ain't building shit. We just bringing a whole bunch of baggage to the damn table. The table can't even hold up all that stuff. So it just comes down to what it is and how you look at it. Again, young marrieds, Proverbs 5:15-19. Please go read it for yourself. Please go read it for yourself. You may go to church, you may hear a different interpretation of it, but read it for yourself. And you can't change what it is. People can apply it to their lives in different ways, but if the words say one thing and I take a few words out to sweeten the pot, then am I really being righteous about it? I don't know. Some people may think it's okay. I don't think it's okay. But that's just me. As I have to move within my space as me being a husband. So, all right. So the next one is, I think guys are like this. Fury of betrayed husband. Proverbs 6:27-35. Fury. Ooh. You cheat on me if you want to. Cheat on me if you want to. You sneak around on me if you want to. You make a deal behind my back if you want to. Because a husband, for the most part, he's not going to go to that extreme. If everything is all right at the house, he's not going to do that. He may get upset about some few little minor things that a couple of days later, a couple of back rubs, a couple of pulling his pants down at the front door, he'll forget all about that shit. But to take what he's trying to protect, most husbands will give their life. trying to protect it. If you take what he's trying to protect and just spread that shit around, oh, you'll see the fury then. You'll see it, hands down. So, it's important to make sure that you're always in a space where you can be protected by your husband. Cheese and all in the other guy's face. Shit, you'll see a guy get mad. Letting your old friends hug all up on you. Oh yeah, it can go wrong very fast. Choosing your friend's side, choosing family over your husband. Shit, maybe even the damn kid. You'll see a mad, furious man. So just be cautious of it. Fury of betrayed husband, Proverbs 6:27-35. Go read it. Read it out loud. I'm telling you, it sounds better when you read it out loud. And then you putting words into the atmosphere. And nobody have to ever hear you read it. Take that shit to the bathroom. Take it somewhere where it's quiet, where nobody has to even hear you say those words. But read it out loud. It helps. I guarantee it does. Now, this is a big one right here. Husband enjoying life. That don't mean that he's out kicking it with his boys 3 or 4 days a week. That means his home is so well put together. It's made so comfortable for him that he's happy to come home. He's happy to talk about his spouse. He's happy to talk about his children. When he looked at those big nose, light-skinned kids, yeah, they mine. Look at my boy. Look at my daughter. She pretty. Ain't nobody gonna fuck over her. Look at my son. I hope his ass don't act like me with the ladies. I want my kids to be smart, to be respectful. And guess what he'll do? He'll put all that energy into them to make sure that those things happen. Husband enjoying life. Ecclesiastes 9:9. Read them out loud. Please read them out loud. In the meantime, ladies, hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. Hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are. Because the husband's life is at peace. We use this word all the time. A man just wants peace. He wants to turn down the street where we live on, smell something in the air, and be like, man, I hope my wife cooked. It smells like. We trying to guess the smell. We pull up. Kids run outside, jumping all on your leg. Just happy to see you. You go in the house. Wife could be in the kitchen. She could greet you at the door, take your bags, whatever. Well, your kids will probably do all that. She got on something that looks it's comfortable, it's risque, but it ain't disrespecting the kids. It's a little loose on her. It's a little shaky, everything's shaking. You like, oh shit. Shit looking good and smelling good. It's a win-win combination. Because whether y'all believe it or not, between 25 and maybe 45, you'll probably find everything to do, especially if you're single. You will find pretty much it's a different time. You find everything to do before your ass go home. You're like, man, let me stop here, let me stop there. You trying to go everywhere before you get home. 45, your ass going to work and you running red lights trying to get home. You're like, the hell with that shit. It's a little different now. Now they're trying to get home early at 25 and 35, which is a little odd to me, but shit. Sometimes I just to pull up at the spot just to see if I can get turned down. Shit, we just try something today. But it's a little different today. Guys, I guess they can't handle that rejection, which is rejection. A lot of times when it comes to the ladies, is good for you to me because it builds character. It helps you understand who you are. Well, I've always did self-reflecting. Was I the best? No, hell no. No. But here we are today. Husband enjoying life. Because again, he's a husband. So everything about his life is wrapped around his family. Well, it should be. Some guys like to have a little 2-piece and a biscuit on the side. Some guys like to do a lot, it just depends on where you are. But then you got to think about it. Would that be worth it in the long run? Would it be something that you can sustain for a very long time without it getting messy? So it's just always something to think about. And like I said, I'm not saying nobody should get married if they're not ready. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And have I probably, been in opportunities where I could have got married? Yeah. I've been asked to get married a few times when I was younger with less gray. Was I ready? Hell no. Felt like I was giving up something. But as I got older, like I said, started aging out. Shit, it was probably the best move I made at that time. And my wife, she was very beautiful. Chocolate brown skin, just like I like it. Slim, thick, natural long hair with locks, sister locks. I think when I first met her, it was at her shoulders. Then it went down to her, just, the little crack line. It got down to there. And then she cut it a little bit right now, and it's just probably below the shoulders. But it's something I've always liked. Like I said, having sisters, I just fell in love with the natural hair. But again, even today, how she applies this to me, she helps me enjoy life. Like I said, she lets me go places that most people can't go. She buys me tickets to these places. It's a big concert coming up in June. Hell, she bought me the executive pass. I'm gonna be up maybe 5 rows from the front row. One night I'm gonna be up there. The second night I'm just gonna be in general admission because it's 2 days. I want to be in general admission the first night because I'm just gonna be mingling with people that I know. And then the second night I'm gonna be up by the stage. I got free food, drinks. I'm gonna be really silly up there that second night. So, and the unique thing about my wife is very secure in herself. I appreciate that. She because I was again, I take these YouTube points to her sometimes, and I think she, of course, when we talk certain things, the happy wife, happy life. I think that's sort of a prerequisite as you growing up. Happy wife, happy life. But then, as you grow up, you start looking like, well, shit, what about me? And I had this conversation with her last week. And she was like, I said, well, I'm the prize anyway. She's like, what you mean? I thought it was the wife's. I was like, no. She said, how can you say that? I said, think about it. Think about all the things I do to make sure we have everything we need. She thought about it. She said, you're right, you do a lot. She said, but I also work. I said, yeah, you do. I said, but think about it. I'm not with you for your money. I said, you can leave me today. I can get somebody else. You do the same thing. I'm not with you for your money. She's like, so what? He says, ain't that part of it? I said, no, your money has nothing to do with anything. I said, I love your work ethic. I love the way you try to protect me, meaning ensuring I have the things that I need and make sure we have the things that we need in the house. We got 2 dogs and a cat. And everybody fucking eating good around here. Everybody got a plush life. Our dog done been out of the country and shit. Cats eat good, but you know, I guess you could say I got lucky, or she got lucky, because I could have been oiling somebody else's doorknobs and tightening up somebody else's screws. That's my dog over there sneezing. Wow. So it's just really been an interesting journey up until that point, up until this point, which brings to my next point. A husband's duty. Ephesians 5:25, 1 Corinthians 7:3, 1 Peter 3:7. A husband's duty. It's my duty to make sure I protect my family. I know that. I know that. That's why I say you can come in my house, you can walk out, you can crawl out, you can get carried out, you can have an open casket, you can have a closed casket, or you can have a cremation. It's your choice. I'm just giving you the opportunities and the options as you enter in my place of peace. And believe me, before I do anything, you go ahead to worry about my 2 dogs and my cat, because my cat ain't no joke. She gonna look at you, and my German Shepherd go lead with all teeth. All teeth. Not one person been able to come up in here yet that she ain't going, oh my God. It's scary to even talk about. Other than that, a lovely dog. Beautiful coats. They eat well. I very seldom feed my dogs, have very seldom fed my dogs dog food. I've only fed them chicken livers and gizzards and jasmine rice. I boil it, put the rice in there. That's all they eat. Chicken bones, chicken, anything chicken. My German Shepherd can't eat the chicken livers and gizzards, so I buy legs, thighs, stuff like that, and just boil it, put the rice in there. That's it. Very cheap. Probably, what, $60 a month, $70 a month? Because again, I go to the meat market, which I can get pounds of what? Legs and wings. Well, wings like $1.29. Legs and thighs be like 99 cents a pound. So I just get maybe 10, 12 pounds, 15 pounds. And that's how they eat. They don't have no problems when they go to the vet. Everybody's nice and healthy. I would tell this quick story about my German Shepherd. She's not even 2 years old, right? So when we took her to the vet, I think it was January, February, we took her to the vet for a yearly checkup. And I was telling the veterinarian, I said, yeah, when she get about 3 years old, because you don't want to mate a dog too soon. I said, when she get about 3 years old, I was thinking about mating her. And my dog, she don't play. So the veterinarian, without even hesitating, said, I would not recommend you mating her. She will not be a good parent. How in the hell you gonna tell me my dog wouldn't be a good parent? That shit don't even make sense. It's a dog. How's she not gonna be a good parent to her own pups? She's like, she is very aggressive. Okay, and she don't like you motherfuckers. But why she can't be a good parent to her? She's a full-blooded German Shepherd. Depending on what list you have, she's 1, 2 on dogs that are protective. I think the Bull Mastiff is probably number 1. It depends on whatever list you got. Very smart dog, learns very fast. So, I just took it with a grain of salt. I think when she gets to that age, I'm going to try to find someone else with some full-blooded German Shepherds with their papers and see what can happen, see if they can make magic happen. I only want 2 of them. I want 2 boys out of the deal. Maybe a boy and a girl. It all depends. Depends on, if my other dog is not around there. I may have to go ahead and do that. But, my wife loves dogs, so it works out. And it's funny because dogs don't have an odor. They're very clean. They don't shed a lot. Because people come in and be like, I didn't know you had a dog. Because the house we live in, where we just went over a year in April. It's a new development, so they building houses, shit, on up the street. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a couple next door to me. They moved in a week before we did, but now they already sold their house and moving out. It was an older couple, so they downsizing, going into, I think, senior homes or something, or whatever it's called, little condo, senior living, something like that. But yeah, then it was me, us, and then there's 5, 6 other families since then, because they built more houses and they taking it on down the road. So at some point, it's gonna be a full community, full neighborhood. So it's just part of it, and I think it's been a blessing of just being married. We've been blessed to buy 2 houses since COVID. The issues that people have, we just don't have those issues because, one, my wife was willing to work together. She got me in the mode of trying to working together, because I used to be over like, shit, I need to keep this over her. She was like, don't worry about that. I'm bringing all this shit to the table. I started looking at that. Okay. And believe me, I don't care what nobody say. You got 2 people working together, that shit grows tenfold. It grows tenfold. I ain't gonna lie. I never thought that in the time that we've been married that we'd be able to have accomplished as much as we have. Like I say all the time, I'm retired. She retired me. She retired me. She was like, you've done enough. You're going to retire. I ain't gonna tell y'all what she got me for my retirement gift. Well, I'll tell you. She got me 2 of them, though. What the things that she got me 2. She got me 2. And I was like, you're doing too damn much. She said, you my husband, I want to do whatever makes you happy. Shit almost broke me down. Because I was like, yeah, we could have took this. Got some, but she got me 2 of them. She was like, you're 55. When I was going on 55, I wasn't quite 55. She was like, you've earned it. This is what I get you. I was like, shit. Yeah, and I'd be afraid to wear that shit sometime, but that's what she wanted me to have, so I didn't have no problem taking it. So in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like, share, subscribe button to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. Just a like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach, ladies and gentlemen. And we have one more on our list, which I thought was really unique. Again, everything that I've shown today, please go look at it, read it for yourself. Even if you're not married, these are some good reference points for you to look at as you step into that position, as you bring someone into your life, and you both are speaking the same language, as in to move into that position together. Bring these things to her attention. And like I said, I'm going to cover those of a woman also, well, a wife. But I feel like, as husbands, well, as men sometimes, we don't get our just due. We don't. We don't get our just due. And it's just unfortunate. And a lot of times I think we get the bad information of what things are or what things could be. Being a husband is not for everybody. Believe me, it's not. Because it comes with great responsibility. for yourself and for others. That's the thing, it comes with great responsibility. Because it can go back to a husband being able to protect his wife, and if she doesn't want to she doesn't want to be protected, then those are things that you should be finding out before you make that commitment. So the last thing is this: winning unsaved husband. And I put it in yellow because there's always an opportunity. There's always an opportunity. 1 Peter 3, 1-2. 1 Peter 3, 1-2. Winning unsaved husband. This makes for good conversation, good discussion, to ensure that both of you are aligned. Just to make sure both of you are aligned. Because you can only serve one God in your household. Some people do it different, but there's something unique within that allows it to work. I would believe most people who identify as Christians like to align themselves with other Christians until we start seeing different. But for the most part, growing up, we get a lot of those similarities and we identify with those of Christian faith. Myself, and I don't know, this could shock people, I don't necessarily identify as a Christian or a Muslim, but I do feel like I have a connection with God directly. You know, I don't need other men to read to me something that I can read for myself and act out in. I had to learn that for myself. Like I said, my grandfather was a pastor. He only ever came to see me. None of me or my siblings, none of us was, I guess, being out in the streets, just doing whatever. None of that happened. I think I had one sister to get pregnant at 18, but she had graduated high school. And when she got pregnant, she left home. She didn't come back home. My mother didn't have to babysit and do all that. She just took care of it herself. And that was my first nephew. His last name his name is Jasmine Ferguson. And he's playing overseas basketball right now. He's been over about 12 years making good money. I think he's in Italy now. Jasmine Ferguson. He's out there on, I think he puts his stuff up on Facebook for the most part. He could be on YouTube, I'm not sure, but he's balling. He's averaging about 24 or 25. And I gave him all that shit. I was his first coach. And let me go back. He has another younger brother. I had 2 or 3 nephews. My son, they all were at the same age. So what I did was, when they all, I guess, 8, 9, everybody talking about they want to play football. All right, y'all want to play football? Okay. I got equipment for everybody. Took them all out to the park where I grew up at. And now we playing football. Only thing we did was get up off the ground, hit, and tackle. That's it. And block. That's it. That's all they did for an hour. I had plenty of water because I know first time getting that jolt upside your head, everybody wants to be, oh, I'm dizzy. No, your ass ain't dizzy. This is what breaking out of that little soft arrow is. You're going to be a little man. You're going to pump your chest a little bit. And I trained them all the same way. And listen, I'm only tooting my horn now because everybody's older. They all were able to navigate through their young adult lives, well, through their teenage years and be okay. Ain't no nephews of mine running around being dumb. I do have one nephew, my youngest sister, her middle son. This dumbass dude had all the potential in the world to play football. One of the best at the time as, freshman, sophomore. His dumbass took a gun to a high school basketball game. What the fuck? But he was one of those stinky type dudes. And believe it or not, this dude was A and B on the roll. Never missed a day. This motherfucker, I think he missed one day in elementary school. Went to school every day. A and B. He was rapping. He was winning the talent shows at the school. And this dude wanted to live in the streets. Now he's doing what? 9 years in federal penitentiary because he wanted to be in the streets. 21 years old. Matter of fact, he got locked up 2 months before his 21st birthday, and that's where he's at. Somewhere down in Texas. And you know when you do Fed time, your ass do time. So, just my rant about that, just unique things happen to people making bad decisions. And becoming a husband when I did was probably the best decision I made. Because there's no damn way that I can be on those streets with my eyes ain't like they used to be. I can't run like I used to run. I got damn cramps in my hands sometimes, in my legs, everything be hurting. So I think I made a good decision. I believe I made a good decision. My wife told me she ain't going nowhere. She just told me 2 days ago. Yeah, if something happened to either one, if you have to leave her early or something, she said, I'm gonna be single forever. I was like, why you gonna be single? Because shit, I'm listening to and seeing this shit out here. These motherfuckers is crazy. Yeah, pretty much. Something happened to her and I'm single, hey, I'm just gonna move around. Just gonna move around. You come over here, you got the weekend. You can have a weekend. Other than that, all your little bag, all your little toiletries, that shit going with you. If you don't take it with you, that shit going in the trash. So, because, I understand what my duties are as a husband now. What my purpose is as a husband. Did I know that shit when I first got married? Hell no. I ain't know what was going on sometimes. Hell, my wife, she was sending me pictures of nice looking women. Everybody picture she sent, it was just me the booty. I'm like, baby, why you sending me all these booty pictures? She said, I know it's what you like, but why you sending them to me? She said, hey, I'm all right. I know what I got. She said, if you make that decision, then we'll deal with it accordingly. Shit, that gave me even more confidence. Like, shit, why would I fuck that shit up? I can get what I want, go where I want to. Why would I fuck that up? Over, 30 minutes of fun? Nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to me. So, I just wanted to come through and just share these little, of course they're coming from a biblical reference, but, just try to give some sort of guideline as, what it would take to be a husband, how, we can acquire things to benefit us as a husband, understanding what our purpose is in that position, understand our destiny in that position. Shout out to my brother JT, he said it all the time. It ain't for us. It's for those that come after us. So again, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Play Coach. Hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Play Coach, ladies and gentlemen. And, it's a unique spot to be in, especially if both people are aligned. If both of us are aligned within that purpose, it's a beautiful spot to be in. You couldn't have never told me prior to 2013 that I would be married. this long. This is my last thing. My own family counted me the fuck out. My own family told my son, of course, behind my fucking back, that they would give my marriage 2 years. My wife got wind of that shit. She cussed all their ass out. And it probably drew her closer to me. And my wife is too fucking nice. She came in buying everybody Coach bags. I'm like, don't be doing that shit. No. You know, ain't nothing like a woman having a nice little purse on her arm. She bought everybody fucking Coach bags. Did she ever get a gift? Fuck no. Ain't never get a gift. But she didn't worry about it. I was the one looking at that shit like shit. She could have went in my fucking pocket. But it's just where we are. It's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who's in this chat, man, because I see some people that came in, just hung out with me, man. What it is, TV. What's up, Hassan, man? Next level mofo. Let me see who else. Randy, salute, young lady. 907 Good Eats. Hey, how y'all doing? Genesis 1. Let me see, Dr. Frizzer Frost. Appreciate you, brother. Man, Trucker, yeah, man. Drive that shit, man. Drive that shit. Deliver that shit on time, man. Appreciate you, man. Elevated Mind Healer, man. All right, man. Listen, I just appreciate y'all just stopping through, man. You see, I'm up late. I'm still figuring this shit out because every time I think I ain't online, I'm online. Then I can't never start on the time I said the shit. But you know, I just spend my days. I don't go through a whole lot. You know, I run around when I need to, hang out when I need to, but that's it. Yeah, my wife asked me every day, "You gonna hit the streets today?" No, ain't nothing out there. Unless I want some shit, then I'm all in the streets. When I went to Cincinnati Wednesday. Just drove up to Cincinnati. My wife was at work. Shit, you jumped in my little little ride and rode on up to Cincinnati. Did some shopping. Got me a $40 outfit. That's it, $40. And shit, she was like, "Yeah, pick me up something too." But she don't like it. She ain't like that. You know, I get to do shopping for her. She like, "Well, hell, you like fashion. You know what to look good on me, yeah." And right now we got too much shit. We got too much shit. I got about 15 outfits, still got the tags on. I done had 2 years already. I ain't growing too much no more. And shit. Matter of fact, I gave away 4 garbage bags full of clothes. All good shit too. A lot of my son's stuff. Levi's, jackets and jeans and shit. Columbia coats and jackets and shit. Adidas shit. I don't buy too much Nike. I ain't bought Nike shit in 10 years. But could I have gotten those things without having a wife? Probably so. But believe me, it's a lot better having a wife to do that. I feel blessed that I've been able to be a husband and to be a good husband to the woman that I married. Again, this is not for the weak. I can tell you that now. Some days are going to be up, down, good, bad. But if it's all about the family, if it's all about fulfilling your obligations and your duties, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. You know, we're in a gray area out here. We're in a gray area. You know, so if you don't want to put yourself in compromising positions, protect yourself until you're ready. Put things in place for yourself. Don't get caught up in the looks. And believe me, I love a pretty black woman. I love it. I say it all the time. Ain't nothing better than a sister. Nothing. I would have never I couldn't, no. Marrying outside a sister, no. It wouldn't have never happened. I would have just been single. Had 10 of y'all in my stable. But as far as marrying outside, no. Couldn't do it. I couldn't even do it. You know, I don't think I could have married a better person than what I did at the time. So, you know, it's just a little bit of me. I don't mind sharing a little bit of who I am and part of my life. You know, I don't owe anybody nothing. Let me say this. Shout out to Biden. Shout out to Joe Biden. He fucking canceled my damn student loan. I didn't have a big one, but he canceled that shit. Shout out to Joe Biden. And this was after the first application that he had everybody fill out. I think they did that to see who all owed some money. But then they sent out another little application. My wife heard him fill that shit out. I got my letter, about 3-4 weeks ago? I'm looking forward to hit on my credit because they said by the end of the month. So the end of the month was what? Today, yesterday? I don't know. But yeah, shout out to Joe Biden. That don't mean your ass gonna get my vote. But shout out to you for that. I appreciate that. I'll take it. So, you know, it is what? 3:55 a.m. I ain't gonna do no more sleep all day. If y'all wonder what I'm gonna do today. Yeah, I'm gonna go hit this bed. I'm probably watch some TV when I get off here for an hour till I fall asleep. And then I'm gonna get up. Shit, I don't know. Ain't gonna do too much. It's Monday. I cut my grass, but yesterday. And that's part of my role. I take care of the outside. I take care of the cars. I had to put some brakes on my truck about a month ago. My little BMW, my little X3. I just got that last August. So my little Dodge Ram truck, I love that thing. I got the cam with the Ram boxes. You know, I love it. Shit, any vehicle I get from this point on will be a pickup truck. I would advise most people to get a pickup truck because a pickup truck is just as luxurious as a car. Plus, you can haul your own shit. But I don't haul nothing in mine but groceries, so it just looks good. But again, I just want to appreciate everybody for always inspiring me to do things like this. You know, Dr. Frizzy Froze, It Is What It Is TV, shit, Randy, Next Level, 907 Good Eats, everybody in this space, man. Everybody, BMU Network, Miss Dee Dee, shit, I was on Single by Choices last night, man. Whew. Hey, man, if y'all can catch them brothers, man, you want to laugh, go check them out. Them fucking brothers that had your ass laughing. Shit, I think I was on there a good 4 hours. They went for about 7. And man, it was hilarious all the way through. You know, so I'm just gonna move around, you know, just spread my little words. Maybe it can help somebody, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna continue to do my part to move the needle and protect those that are willing to let me protect them and respect everybody just because. But you cannot disrespect me. Cannot happen. So again, ladies and gentlemen, before I get out of here, hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Furkett, the Player Coach. Hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Furkett, the Player Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not hesitate to leave a comment. I appreciate everybody for joining me today. It has been a beautiful day. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you always for listening in. Again, one love, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm out.